All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. And today we have a bunch of different things to talk about. We're going to get into some graded numbers we saw yesterday for PSA, SGC, BGS. We're going to talk about a major Josh Allen sale. We're going to talk about who we think is going to win this week's NFL games. We're going to recap last week's NFL games, but first, we're going to start with the usual, with what's on your mind. Ty, you look focused and ready to talk, so I'll turn it over to you and we'll get this party started.
Chris Kreider's on my mind. My PC is currently leading the league in goals with a 30-piece.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is.
The Rangers are legit.
The Rangers are legit, and it's been a long time coming from my man. But if we're being real, that football weekend was insane. We'll get into it. I'll gloss over it real quick. But Tannehill is not the guy. Close the chapter. Close the
Not
book.
that guy,
move
pal.
forward. He had the opportunity. The Titans should have won that game. He forgot how to be a quarterback that wins playoff games, or maybe he never knew how, because you just don't do some of the things that you do that he did. And so that's that. Close the book. What am I going to do with my Tannehill cards, people ask? Nothing. I'm going to have them as memories to serve of what was. A run that was.
What almost was.
What almost was. And then we proceeded to watch some epic games. Rodgers is a bum. Josh Allen is not that good, as Lou says, because he can't get past the Chiefs in the playoffs. That's not true. He was nasty. That game was nasty. How do the Bucs blow that?
That was crazy.
But yeah, all in all, good. Crypto market has gotten obliterated.
Is it gonna? So I was gonna ask
But
you.
we're
that.
back. It's a Tuesday. We're back.
I was gonna ask you that, Ty.
NFTs are up. Crypto's up.
What about ETH?
They've lost 7 in a row. I'm showing a McDavid card. They've lost 7 in a row. Classic folding fast. You just got to get out of Edmonton. ETH is back a little bit, stabilizing. You're not wearing the ETH shirt today.
No, not today.
I feel like
That's a good point, Jay.
Every day.
That's a good point, Jay. Ryan Johnson was the top of ETH. The moment Ryan Johnson put on an ETH shirt, it all went to shit. It's
actually super true.
I looked at buying ETH like in November, and it was like 3,400 or something. So when I put this shirt on a week ago and it was under $3,000, I certainly wasn't the reason ETH tanked.
It was not under $3,000 when you
it was
last week. It was, look it up. It was like 2,800.
So that's that. Tannehill, I get it. It was there. They should have won. He should have won.
Save your breath, brother. We're gonna get into the NFL stuff.
Yeah,
You'll have
I know. So that's that. That's what's on my mind. I did a little IG card show last night. It was pretty cool, but aside from that.
Lou, what's on your mind?
My favorite part of the week is when we can see how many topics Tyler can run through before we actually get to run through them. That's my favorite part of the week. True. What's on my mind is just football. I just love football. I was watching a lot of football this weekend. I had a good time. I came here to talk about it, and I will let Ryan talk about what he wants to talk about so we can get into the playoffs.
So what's on my mind? Told Lou, actually getting excited for F1 to start. We got middle of March. I think March 18th is like the first weekend. Just ready to get back into that. I'm actually really excited for that. Hopefully before this next season starts, you'll have the new Drive to Survive documentary, or season 3 at this point, Lou? Season 4.
Yep.
So excited to see that. Although Max, I don't believe will be on there. Still excited to see that. Did get a new background. We've been working on a new YouTube setup to film, so kind of a backdrop. So hopefully this will look a little bit more filled in the next couple of weeks.
You on a Burrow jersey back there?
I should really. I can't believe I didn't wear it.
You should hang it on the wall, black and orange.
I have a Joe Burrow framed signed jersey coming back from framing. It's actually inscribed Tiger King. I should have got Joe Burrow, or something like that. Yeah, I got it inscribed.
Wait, you have a Joe Burrow Tiger King autographed jersey coming back to you.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've had it for a while.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
I have a Joe Burrow full-size autograph helmet that's inscribed "Welcome to the Jungle."
No.
When you say inscribed, like you're putting this order in for the custom inscription?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's downstairs.
Meaning you're
literally
like, hey,
You're
can I get
really
the
not a
auto with
Patriots
this
fan.
on there?
No, Joe Burrow's a Buckeye, remember?
No, he's not. He left your school.
Look,
Guys.
I respect. I'm not going to bury Rye for not being a Pats fan, but he's clearly a
I
Burrow
will.
fan now.
No, I'm 110% a Pats fan.
Mm.
But I mean, I got to root for somebody. Did you see the games this weekend? You got to root for someone.
Yeah, listen, my
Yeah,
49ers
but
and
question,
my
bro.
Chiefs,
Would
I
you
agree
ever
with
root for another team in college football?
No, not even close.
So, like, you're
Okay,
not a
so that's
Pats
it.
fan.
I mean, like,
On the same
yeah,
level.
I mean, I rooted for Georgia to win the national title against Alabama.
Yeah, but like, would you
But you're-
ever put
you've
on
been
a college
actively
football
rooting for the
jersey of
Bengals.
another team?
Oh no, no.
Like, would
So
you put
like,
on an
so then
Oklahoma
you
jersey?
can't like, in respect to
Yeah.
your Ohio State fandom,
I've-
you can't really claim
We've done
Pat's
this
life
before.
like that.
We've done this before on this show. It's Ohio State fandom here. Everything else right here. It's not even close. Like the
So my
gap
point is, you
massive.
should only claim Ohio State fandom.
I
I'm
agree.
kind of like, I'm like
Mhm.
a Penn State sports fan, and then everything else I kind of dabble.
Nah. No, we're definitely
All right,
Patriots.
well, we'll just leave that one
Let's
for
just
another
move on.
day. Yeah.
All right,
When
so
Burrow and the Pats have an all-time matchup, and you sneaky in your gut want the Burrow to win, we'll end the debate there.
all right, so we had a big weekend. Had some awesome games. The first
All
one we
time.
have to talk about. My man Jay was there. Got to witness it firsthand. Ryan Tannehill stinks.
Blew the
We
game.
had
Third
a
of all.
debate on this show. We took it to social media, and people tried to convince, including Tyler, that this man was a top 12 NFL quarterback. He is terrible. I don't know
Hold on.
why you guys ever thought this man
Hold
was
on.
any good.
He may
is
still be a
terrible.
top 12 quarterback.
No chance.
In a world where Aaron Rodgers hasn't done dick in a game that matters in 10 years, he might still be a top 10 quarterback.
They lost because of Ryan Tannehill.
Aaron Rodgers had the ball twice to drive down the field with the game on the line, and Mans went 3 and out, and is like
True.
all-time best quarterback ever.
Scored.
So, like, I just want to relax a little bit.
Had like 10 points at home for like the 14th year in a row.
Yeah, somebody made a good point that
And
like
his
Aaron
haircut's
Rodgers
bad.
and Russell Wilson have kind of become the
True.
same quarterback.
Russ, I think Rodgers has a bigger the man without doing well, he's won a Super Bowl than Russ Wilson.
Oh, you mean he's a little full of himself? No way.
Yeah, he's a little
hard to
like
believe.
too I don't care to be not winning games that matter.
Wait, are we still talking about the Titans game or moving on? Because
No, we're talking about
I threw a
Dallas
little
gotta
Rodgers.
take his whooping. I mean, this man tried to convince us that this dude was good and Michael Porter Jr. was healthy. And
He might be the 9th best quarterback.
in the playoffs, not in the league.
yeah, I mean being the 7th best quarterback in the playoffs is not a bad title to have. I'll be honest with you.
It's not.
I would love
seventh.
to have the worst quarterback.
It's
in
not
it,
7th.
but there's only
It's
like
probably closer to 10th. Like he's in the same category as Jimmy G.
would love to be in the Jimmy G category.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's
hasn't Jimmy G like
15 or 16.
you
Jimmy
mean the
G's
guy y'all
90
shipped out of your
yards.
franchise and then just come back to bury you for the
He
last 6
stinks.
years?
His
Guys been in the
defense is
Super
good.
Bowl.
You might
It's the
want him
same
back
thing
on
with
your
Ryan
team.
Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, everything is
Can we
good around him.
focus? Yes. Let's
Everything
focus on
good around Ryan Tannehill. They got a good line. They got the
All
best
right, we
running
got to
back
stop
in the
being mean
league.
to each other. Let's talk about sports cards, okay?
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill stinks.
Fair.
That's it. That's it.
Joe
Fair.
Burrow. Joe Burrow. He's the man.
Dud.
The man.
The man.
Coolest man. in the
Cards are
world. going.
going crazy. You have
Crazy.
some heat, Rye?
I don't have a ton. I have a couple cool ones, but nothing crazy. I have a black Pandora PSA 10 black, like optic auto, which is cool because like it's a dark. I think it's like a black jersey, so it kind of like it matches. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't have a ton of Burrow stuff.
What do you
Bueller?
think about my concept? I do not. Let me tell you what I'm about to tell you guys. What do you think about my concept of trading my Mahomes for like a really banger Burrow?
I think you got to just ride out the Mahomes. Look what's happened to Brady.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would. There's many guys I would trade Mahomes for other than like Brady.
What if the Bengals win on Sunday?
That would be amazing. That would be super cool. But
That's
if
what I'm
not,
saying.
like
So I'm
Mahomes is
trying to
going
get ahead of
to.
that a little bit.
But even if they
Mahomes is going to his
do,
third Super Bowl in 3 years. He's going 3 straight. That's a lot. He's
listen, I'm in a win-win scenario with the card.
the 13
I'm
seconds
thinking about ideas.
was pretty.
Wait, hold on, because I got a lot to say about that game.
We gotta wait. We gotta get all
Keep
these other
going.
games in first because Lou is going to have his moment in that game. The moment of the show for Lou is the Bills Chiefs game. So Niners Packers. Aaron Rodgers just can't get it done again. Does this seal Aaron Rodgers is out in Green Bay?
I'll say this. Yeah, I think it does. I want to send some love to my close personal friend, Aaron Nowak, who has spent the last 10 years living a lie. He was living a lie that Aaron Rodgers is an elite top 3 to 5 quarterback ever. And he's just not. By the way, if the Jets get to the Super Bowl in 2010, he's not winning the Super Bowl because the Jets are winning that game. So he got lucky when he won that one, and he's done nothing ever since. It was kind of all a lie because he's gone. I think he's out. I don't know.
Ryan?
The Niners have some playmakers. Nick Bosa is a stud. Deebo Samuel is a stud. I mean, dude can do everything. Return kicks, run, pass, throw. I mean, they should put him at QB. Like he's got to be better than Jimmy G.
That's not true.
They're good, man. They're good. The Niners are good. And then the Bucs game. Crazy game. Crazy. The Bucs come all the way back. You're like, dude, they're going to do it. They're going to win again. It was like 27-3 or 27-6. And you're like, here we go again. Seen this story once before. And then they come all the way back and they score with 40 seconds left. And you're like, wow, overtime. And Stafford, that throw, that was special.
Big boy throw. That Rams +3 was in real danger for a minute. And I got real scared. Brady just kind of looked disengaged. Can we go back to my take about him not looking that good? Because he did not look good again in this game. Right.
It wasn't Brady's best performance.
I mean, that's a little bit of an understatement.
Still better than Ryan Tannehill, though, for sure.
Fine.
For sure.
He did not look good this year. And I'm just gonna
fair. He did miss my man on the final play.
He missed a lot of throws on Sunday.
Is this it?
No, I don't think so.
No chance.
Wow.
He's gonna do he's gonna do this probably 2 more times. He's gonna go play somewhere else. I think he's out of Tampa Bay. Super squad, 2 years.
You think he's leaving Tampa?
Yeah. And he's going LeBron mode, bro. Right out the end of his career, picking shoes, GM style.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't have
He's got a whole team doing who's got the cap, who we bringing in, who's our head coach,
he'll go find somebody who will
land it.
He'll find somebody who will take Antonio Brown and he'll go there.
Just get to the championship game.
Somewhere we'll take him. The Broncos, the Vikings. There's somebody who will take him.
Yeah, Broncos could be a nice play.
Yeah, that's a good spot. I didn't think about that.
The thing with Brady is that he's been Frankensteining his whole career, coming back and this finds a way to come back. So I won't believe he's gone until he's actually gone.
He's not going out like that.
Until week 1 starts and Brady's not on a roster.
Not even week 1. I would say
he might come back post bye week.
Yeah, he might just come back for the playoffs next year or something. You know what I mean?
Lou said later in the season. All right, so let's get into it. The game.
Can we do one thing real quick? Who was the most impressive? Did we do the final game or no? Are we still on football here?
Bills Chiefs.
Got it. Cool.
So before we get into that question, Lou has been waiting. If you know Lou and you've watched or listened to the podcast, if you have listened this season, Lou has not had a stronger opinion about any one person other than Josh Allen.
He's my number one enemy.
He said number one enemy. We got probably one of the best playoff games I've ever seen. I think Mahomes, they said Mahomes had 177 yards after the 2-minute warning.
It was the best playoff game of all time. I think that's pretty fair to say.
It was great, right? 13 seconds. Mahomes got the ball. I don't know why they didn't squib it. They don't squib it. Mahomes gets 13 seconds. That's 1 second less than it took Dak Prescott to run a draw play. Either way, they get in field goal range, tie the game. Obviously, coin flip at the coin toss decided it.
Who
Chiefs win. Chiefs win the game. Josh Allen loses.
Hate to see it.
Bills lose. Chiefs go to the AFC title where it's Chiefs Bengals. Lou, thoughts on Chiefs Bills?
Great game for Pat. Great game for the Chiefs. It's nice to see greatness come through. There's a lot of times, like some teams will sell their soul for a victory in October, which is what the Bills got. They got a nice win in KC earlier this year. But when it came down to winning time, one quarterback was better than the other one. One quarterback can't win a coin toss to save his life, save his team's life, really. And their season ends, and their fans go back to being miserable, and that's what they'll do for the next 10 years because it's not going to change. They built their entire team around beating this team. They built the team that can beat them, and they still lost. So I don't really know what the Bills are supposed to be doing going forward other than having Josh Allen get old and continue to deteriorate because that's what's going to happen.
Wither away.
Just wither away at the vine. You hate to see it. It's a real shame. I'm so sad.
Diggs with the 7 yards
they
hurt my wallet and also hurt my soul.
They locked him up. The funniest was they had Mahomes under 23.5 yards, and he had the run in the first quarter that went over that. He had like a 35-yard run in the first quarter that just went right over his total. It was great. But yeah, that was a great game. It was a good game. I'm obviously joking around. It was an incredible game from Josh. But like, Mahomes is just.
Did you leave the game saying I might need to invest in some at Josh Allen's cards?
I would never in my life buy Josh Allen cards. I know I said last week I would. I never would. I would never spend real money.
Who was the most impressive player?
Gabe Davis.
That you watched over the weekend?
That can't be the answer.
Gabe Davis.
No way.
Really? He had 4 touchdowns, right?
Yeah. He cooked that safety.
Yeah, that run was great. Just more impressive. Nah.
McPherson?
McPherson was a G.
Kupp was who I was gonna say. I mean, he had like 185 yards. That amazing catch at the end. But
he had 185. It didn't really seem like that. But you go Rye, then you go Lou, then I'll go.
Man. The quarterbacks in the Bills Chiefs game, like they needed a score every time. I mean, Mahomes got him in field goal position from the 20 or 25 yard line with 13 seconds left.
What a two play calls that were just amazing.
I'm
Andy
like,
Reid.
What are the odds? Like, that's unheard of. Like Mahomes, we had a segment on this show talking about the Chiefs panic meter.
No, we did not. You did. We've done.
No, we did. Jason made the graphics, and you talked about.
Actually, it was you too, but we can.
I
keep
have
going.
to talk.
All right, so the quarterbacks.
Yeah, so
Lou, yours was Gabe Davis.
Yeah, Brian said Cooper Kupp had 145 yards or whatever. Like Gabe Davis had 8 for 201 and 4 touchdowns. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
he's a 3rd round draft pick.
Yeah, one of them's moving on, one of them's not.
I think Gabe Davis was a product of Josh Allen, but
I could argue Josh Allen was a product of Gabe Davis.
Aaron Donald was an absolute problem. Absolute problem.
I agree.
I think the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl.
They're good, man. They're really
feels
good.
Like Matty Stafford's time, and it feels like we need 3 more years of OBJ, just like in everyone's face. And he feels like the sneaky guy that has a big Super Bowl. It just feels like the NFL narrative. Stafford wins it. Kupp gets locked down. OBJ goes for like 7 and 125 and 2 tutties in the Super Bowl. Kind of feels like that's what we're staring in the face.
I love the Bengals. I at this point, that's who I want to win.
Favorite team
is the Bengals. Joe Burrow's so much fun. The Chase, they're good, right? Like I would love to see that continue. Would love to see them be able to beat Mahomes. I mean, as much as we like Kafka and Mahomes and the Chiefs, and that's exciting, the Bengals going would be a good thing for cards for Joe Burrow and some of those guys. I'm not sure the Bengals would have any chance against either defensive line that they would play. They got 9 or 10 sacks against the Titans.
Yeah.
Nick Bosa, the Niners,
and then
let alone
Tannehill
Aaron Donald and Von Miller. They would eat the Bengals offensive line up. So yeah, if it's the Chiefs, you'll get a better game. As much as I want to see the Bengals win so bad, I'm just not sure you're going to get it.
That'd be back home team Super Bowl champions if the Rams won.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, they said no team's ever hosted both the title game and the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
first time last year that somebody hosted the Super
Bowl
Bowl as a home team.
Yeah. Back-to-back years would be wild because that was like a whole thing. I remember growing up, like my whole life.
Never
I was like,
happened.
There'll never be a home team win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Stafford's cards. How do we feel?
Got me an NT earlier this year. Felt good. The
Huge
Rams
pickup.
were my Super Bowl pick to go. They were going to lose to the Browns, which was awful. Wrong Ohio team. If I'd have just switched it, we might have been a little bit closer.
I was on you.
You were a true believer.
I was right. I was in the right state. But yeah, I had the Rams getting there. Stafford was my MVP pick. Picked up one of those NT autos. Like he's so good. He just sat in Detroit for so long with nothing.
Well, you add a ring to his career. Who's better, him or Rodgers?
Him.
It's not even close.
Yep, Stafford.
Not even close.
Yep, Stafford.
Real shame. Aaron.
Narrative changes fast.
I love it.
I would love to get
throwing some balls that were insane. By the
I
way.
would
The
love
throw
to
to
hear
cup
him.
was unbelievable. It was like,
Yeah, dime.
He holds the biscuit like.
yeah.
Jay, we got to put that in IG stories. I would love to hear from the listeners on that. Who, if Stafford wins a ring, who goes down as like a better career, or whatever it is, like which legacy is better, Stafford's or Rodgers, if Stafford wins the Super Bowl?
Shout out to AJ Vaynerchuk. Like 3 years ago, he was the first person to say if Stafford ever gets traded and wins the Super Bowl, he's like a top 10 quarterback of all time or something like that.
I mean, Jay is on it fast. I mean, props to Jay. Oh no, that's a different one. But Jay, man, getting some content out while we're live. Shout out to him.
Yep.
All right, let's who you got?
Down with the NFL.
Who got winning?
Chiefs.
You got the Chiefs. All right, we got Chiefs. Chiefs are gonna, I think, beat the brakes. If I'm being
Chiefs
frank.
Rams.
Chiefs Rams.
Yep.
And I'll go Chiefs.
I think that Chiefs Niners. Yeah, I think Rams over Chiefs in the Super Bowl is where I'm at.
Chiefs over Rams in the Super Bowl.
I think the Niners can scheme around the Rams' strength on defense, and I think they can give them a real game.
Leonard Fournette was a beast, by the way.
Yes.
This past year, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
In that game, playoff, like he's just when he's on the field.
Is that Tom Brady? Like, how does that work? I mean, Leonard Fournette hadn't done anything in a minute, and he gets Tom Brady there, and he's like, dude, I mean, dominated.
Yeah, he's just a game. I mean, he's been a gamer. He's a gamer. He still wears
Probably
his
helps.
LSU pads, which is pretty sweet.
Is that true?
He had the purple shoulder pads
That's kind of
going the whole game. It's pretty sweet. Yeah.
I would imagine that has a lot, right? I imagine that has a lot to do with the fact that like it goes from you're talking about when he went to Tampa because did he join Tampa before or after Brady?
I don't know.
Because I would imagine like when you go from Jacksonville where there's nothing going on to like Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Tom Brady, like it helps. You know what I mean?
Sure.
There's a super team. It's like all these teams.
All right, we before we get out of this, I do want to finish on to give Lou a little bit more opportunity to talk about Josh Allen. I know Lou said he would not spend it. Lou, you said you wouldn't spend any of your money on Josh Allen. But what are your thoughts on the $264,000 Josh Allen gold vinyl PSA 10 rookie out of 5 non-autograph sale from this weekend? I believe it was on Golden.
I would love to know comparable sales. I've never seen it. Can't recall off the top of my head. Like I'm trying to think like another recent guy, Prism Gold, but yeah,
Gold vinyl.
Good gold vinyl. Sorry, good for that person who owns it. I hope they are confident in Josh going forward. I'm not gonna like attack.
The car exploded in the last year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna attack somebody for spending $270,000 on the card. If they feel good about it, they feel good about it. But
he was a monster. He's a monster. Yeah. He will be a monster. He's a beast. I know that everyone, just like I hate Ohio State, and knowing that ever plays quarterback there will matter in the league. But Josh Allen's pretty good.
I wonder what's going to happen when he loses his offensive coordinator who built his career.
Hey, real quick, before we go, this will be the last thing about football.
Yes.
Who are your top 5 QBs going into next year right now?
You do this thing kind of where like I'm supposed to be encyclopedia quarterback.
I want to hear Lou say it. I want to hear Lou say it.
Like who's your? You're talking to me specific. You want me to say Josh Allen's in the top 5? I'm not going to say that.
Is Josh Allen a top 5 QB?
No, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, let's just move on from this. You're like Robbie out here like.
I'll give you a top 5.
Who
Give me 2
was the best team that didn't make the playoffs in '97?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Lose to in Week 9 of 2004. All right, my top 5 in no particular order: Mahomes, Herbert, Brady, assuming he plays. That's 3. Stafford 4. I'll go Burrow 5. Coming up the rear at like number 31, Josh Allen.
Interesting.
I'll never in my life, no matter what, I'm just letting everyone know, I will never in my life say Josh Allen is good. I just want everyone to understand he's my number 1 enemy in sports. I will never admit he's good. That's it.
Fair. All right. That is interesting, though. There's 2 QBs from the 2020 draft class in Lou's top 5 for next season. Herbert and Burrow.
Herbert feels a little Stafford to me right now. Maybe 10 years. I'll get there.
All right. Let's. Did you guys see the graphic? I think Jason posted it yesterday on Card Talk on the IG page. Did you see the graphic about the graded cards? So it says items graded last week. So this would have been January. I think this was posted yesterday. It says PSA graded 187,000 cards. SGC graded 20.9 thousand cards, so right around 21,000. And then 13.8 from BGS. It says all data sources from Pop Reports, BGS Pop Report data should be treated as representative. There can be meaningful lag between when an item is graded and when it shows up on Pop Report.
And this is from Gemrate. Shout out to Gemrate.
Yep, Gemrate has some amazing data.
To me, when I first looked at this, the first thing I thought was it's insane how big PSA's operation must be compared to those 2 companies who are all on the same plane in terms of like people think about PSA and SGC and BGS in the same sentence. That 187,000 PSA graded cards versus the next closest being SGC at 21,000 is an insane thing to consider in terms of volume they're getting and volume they're turning around. And it kind of puts like the delays in perspective. It's like they have an outrageous amount of cards they must be going through.
I mean, 187,000 cards in a week is $9 million a year.
It's like crazy.
9 million graded cards.
Zions are going to be worth pennies.
But we've never
like
been
PSA 10 Zions are going to be like pennies.
I think a lot of that base stuff is going to be worth
a lot of it. Well, I'm just talking about Zion, like prospect, like what he was, and like that moment that Prism said that comes out. Like he doesn't even play. Bro,
you know something
in the league? He's more Greg Oden than Bradley Beal.
Ty, I'm so glad you said this.
What about if you get traded to the Knicks?
Ty, Lou, somebody brought this up when I was in Dallas, and I want to put it out there, and I want to get your opinion, and I want to hear from the listeners as well. This is a statement. Zion Williamson deserves a lot of credit for where the card market is now.
No.
Yes.
I would say Luka deserves more.
Yeah, if you're talking about
the hype around 1920 basketball product and the chase for Zion was 50x compared. Prism retail in 1819 was below the market. Luka was great, but the chase for Zion was modern day LeBron James hype and potential in a sports card market that was exploding. Zion put the card market in a different realm. He may not still be here now. He started it. He didn't continue to fuel it, but Zion definitely was one of the reasons the market took off. His stuff, that hype, we have not seen anything like it since.
Let me ask you a question. When 2019 basketball was coming out, everything was so hot, right? How much was 2018 selling for at that point? The answer is a lot more.
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
So so whenever 1920 was coming out, people were chasing Luka just as hard, if not harder. So it might when it dropped, it might have been lower. But when the time came for the thing to get ramped up, people like Luka's were always higher than.
I
think the anticipation for Zion was 10, 25, 50x of Luka going into it, obviously. So there's more buildup. But Giannis, Luka was important to get to Zion. I don't think you get to the hype of Zion without seeing what the Luka market was doing based on him playing and what Zion could be. I think it all just goes over my head because I'm on wax on this podcast from the jump saying that Zion was pretty much a 50-year-old dude in an 18-year-old body. And that's where I think we're at. But I want to go real back to this PSA SGC Beckett. I'm more shocked that SGC is doing almost double the amount, call it 38% more or whatever, than Beckett. Personally, I'd rather have my card slabbed in a Beckett slab than an SGC. But from new entrants in the market, or it's clear that SGC has just won the brand and marketing game, in my opinion. And Beckett, such a established brand, I just view it like, I don't know, I see it as quality, but it feels like they've missed their messaging mark and people are falling off.
I think the key here, there's a couple of key takes, right? I obviously agree with SGC, so I agree like with your statement there, Ty, but I also think we got to be careful that like Beckett doesn't have a lot of options open. I think they only have the most expensive one. So they're not actively taking bulk or, what any of their other options to continue to grade. They might, I'm sure they're taking something. I don't know what it is. I haven't looked in months, but like SGC is
express equivalent or something.
Yeah. So like SGC is actively taking submissions. So I think the argument is probably more, I would assume that Beckett's getting more through backlog from older orders that have been there for a year than taking new submissions. Mm-hmm. So I'm not necessarily sure it's apples to apples. I think this is more apples to oranges when you're looking at it. But it definitely brings up the argument that like SGC is definitely here to stay. I mean, 20,000 cards a week, no joke. I mean, that's a
and
lot
operating
of
a real business.
1,000%.
When we started this podcast, if you look at these numbers,
I'm sure it was a lot
SGC
less.
might not even be in the top 3. I don't even know. Like they were in the mix, but they've done an amazing job. Do they have as many options open as PSA?
They have like all of them, I think.
Yeah, I mean they have a couple different options. I mean they do like a 5-day and a bulk, and I mean they have a couple different ones. I mean the only one we use is bulk, so that's one I can really only speak to. But
do you think Beckett's getting devalued in the marketplace?
I don't know if it's that's the $1 million question. Is it Beckett being devalued, or is it PSA just being overvalued? Like the PSA 10 is it's PSA 10 or bust.
Yeah, it used to be like a little like PSA 10 slightly above BGS 9.5. Some could kind of like comp them. That's completely broken apart, right?
Especially in like a min gem. There's also been a pretty significant breakdown between like min gem, true gem, and true gem plus. You know what I mean?
And
that's
I think
there's pretty significant,
especially like again some of the things I've been looking at. We've listed 1,000 cards on eBay in the last 2 weeks, and as I'm comping stuff, the one thing I would say is the gap between a raw card and a PSA 9 is a lot closer than it used to be, as the PSA 9 to the PSA 10 is separated tremendously. Like if you really look, I don't have any data in front of me to speak about this, but as someone that's looked up a lot of cards recently, there are certainly cases there where a PSA 9 to a raw price like is very, 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 very close. And then you look at a PSA 10 and it's 3x what a 9 sells for.
Couple takeaways on that. That scares me because it just feels so speculative that a raw and PSA 9 gap is closing. Makes sense to me why PSA 10 is then running, but it just screams speculation to me in terms of like people want raw, and if it's a PSA 9, they just want the chance at a 10. Your point about mint gem, gem mint plus is also where I believe Beckett is losing. In a world where there's so many new entrants, the ability to just say PSA 10 versus I have a Beckett 9.5. Oh, you have 4 different versions of a Beckett 9.5. Like, what does that mean? Like, it's just hard messaging to get across. Whereas like PSA 10 is just clean. Like, it is what it is. This market of like Beckett, you can have 4 different valuations on a Zion Beckett 9.5, which I think is tough for the average consumer in the market.
And Jay brought up.
Go ahead.
So Jay brings up a point. He said, PSA 9s, Mahomes, Prism, and Josh Allen increased way more than their 10s after the game. Like, I'm sure there's certainly a case for both. They're just, like I said, those guys obviously had one of the best games of their careers against each other. It was a big game. It was the best playoff game
People are looking to get in at a lower price.
So yeah, people are trying to get in maybe on those things. But again, I'll find some stuff. We'll talk about it, but I think it makes an interesting conversation if that continues to trend that way, where, like Tyler said, because I think Tyler's point is really the reason that people are going to start to want to get the raw one with a shot at a 10 rather than just buy the 9.
Yeah, I think two things. Number one, everyone should read that article that Jason wrote. Maybe we can put in like the description for the YouTube and the Spotify and all that. I think a big piece of that is these high liquidity, but like the high number of cards for like a Zion and a Ja and a Herbert and a Burrow and like all that. There's so many of these now, so there's going to be so much variation. There's going to be a gazillion min gems, a gazillion true gems, a gazillion true gem pluses, and so it's like there's just so much liquidity on all of these that the prices are going to be lower. I think that's inevitable. I do wonder how much of the SGC thing is the price point as well, because if you're talking about new entrants don't want to pay $150; they want to pay $25.
Yep, but PSA just opened a $50 option.
But the $50 option can take 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, I mean,
$25 SGC option takes 3
We talked about this when SGC first opened up, right? Lou was not a pro SGC, right? We had a conversation about this, that price point, people are still going to want to grade cards. They're going to want their new rookies of Cade Cunningham. They're going to want what, first to market means something. People are going to still grade cards, and SGC proved that. And they've made a lot of the right decisions in the last couple months when they had this opportunity. That was important. Don't become PSA and get so far behind you got to close. They didn't do that. They took advantage of an opportunity, and you can see now
they filled a white space. All
right, so we are going to get into play of the week. I think it's worth noting, Lou and I both heard this before we started, and Tyler has seen it in text message. Jason has made it clear. Jay's made it clear. This is the best play of the week ever.
I think we shouldn't do this. I'm
so really.
And if you know Lou, Tyler, and I, you will know that we'll go into this and we will.
I'm going to be nice because I'm worried for Jay.
We've been told this before, and it was lackluster.
I'm worried for Jay. Let's go.
So Jay says no worries. He's still running it in the
It's
chat.
also. It's extra long. It's a 7 play.
It's 7 plays this week. This is the longest play of the week we've ever done. All right, Jay, let's run it. First play. Treadway, my guy. Treadway is Tyler is local. He said, my make a play submission. My first photo. Purchased a Spider-Man jambalaya on January 21st last year for $60. Sold 3 days shy of a year after subbing it to PSA with CC2 grading. Got a PSA 9. Only copy graded.
It's a great start, Jay. Great
start.
start.
I would agree.
Paid for
excellent start. I'm fired up.
$100.
I'm fired up.
Man.
Yeah, I'm fired up about this for sure.
Okay, so number one, I didn't know there was jambalaya Spider-Mans. That's awesome. Was not aware of that. I'm all in. $61 on this play a year ago is really, really interesting because this is probably before all these cards popped off, I would imagine. Rod, do you have any extra insight? Why are you smiling?
I don't know anything about
good.
The Marvel stuff, so this is a you conversation. I love 61 to 1500. I love the hustle there, but I don't know enough about it. This is a you guys conversation.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. These quote unquote you're combining interests, right? Like you're combining the Spider-Man hype with the jambalayas and all of those type of cards. So I think it's a really interesting play. PSA 9 pop 1 is really cool.
That's pretty
Jambalaya
good.
Spider-Man's super sweet. Jambalaya is dope insert. I respect this play tremendously. I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people looking up Jambalaya, other Marvel. You're going to get the Venom, Hulk. I don't know what the checklist is. We're going to fire that bad boy up, but 2017 Marvel Jambalaya feels hot.
That's pretty good. Yeah, 60
next Jay.
$60 to 1500 over a year. It's pretty good.
That works.
All right, good start, Jay. All right, next one is from Danny Dimebox. He said, I've got a great make-up play for next week's show. I bought this Darius Garland flawless patch off of eBay in February of 2021 for $251. Sent it off to the best grading service out there, CC2 Grading, my guy.
Facts.
It got a 9. then sold it on eBay a couple nights ago for $5,000.
Go.
My reasoning for buying it was because Garland is Upper Deck exclusive, so he doesn't have any autos, which means no RPAs.
Wow. I love that rationale.
This is game-worn Darius Garland patch, so Flawless is, I believe, I'm almost positive, the only game-worn cards they have of rookies, I believe, are from Flawless. So this is a game-worn Darius Garland rookie patch, 2 of 10. He bought about a year ago for $251, graded it, got a 9, and sold for $5,000 8 days ago.
So he's into it for like 400, 425.
No, if he graded it like a year ago, it'd probably cost 75, 80. I mean, 3.25, 350 pre-fees. You're going to get a $250 or $500 fee on eBay cap at some point. I think it caps like 250, 500, something like that. So yeah, he's probably getting 4,500. So he's probably making 4,000 on this card.
Love it for the rationale of the Upper Deck exclusive. There's just something too, like these basketball guys have like hot couple weeks, and if you're into it if you have this card available at the right time, like you could really make some good returns.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy. That $4,000 on a Garland patch. That's wild.
Crazy.
That's next level.
Cavs are hot.
They don't even have a Rubio.
Cleveland's hot. Just as a city. All-Star game coming in. It's part of a great state.
True. All right, next play, Jay. All right, this is from Augusto Vieira. It says, hey, gentlemen, day one listener from Puerto Rico. I got into F1 with the Netflix series and followed the 2021 season closely. Respected Max's all-or-nothing approach, did some research, and learned of his fan base known as the Orange Army and his growing popularity. Researching the Topps Chrome product, I found out that cards numbered to 25 are orange refractors, gravitated towards the track tag insert because it has a comic book vibe that the card market seems to like. So on May 2021, I purchased a Track Tags Orange Refractor at a 25 for $525 raw on eBay, graded for $205 in October, and got a PSA 8. So all in about $730. I sold it on December 21st for $5,500. An almost 7.5x return. Used the profits to purchase fractional ownership of a Brady SPX Spectrum rookie and hoping to buy an F1 2020 Topps Chrome hobby box mid-February. Thanks for the lessons learned. Keep up the good work. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
I almost got like a tear. I'm going to be real off that one.
Fires me up. That's like everything we've been talking about for like since we started the show. It's crazy.
We got Augusto, day one, down in PR, looking like he clearly likes sneakers. And
I get this is a F1 card.
That's what I'm saying. But it's all the things.
I love
do a little research. You learn
yes.
about this guy, Max. You watch the show. You're like, this guy's got some juice. You act on it. You do a little research. The research leads you to understand that his crew is the Orange Army. You do a little research on the checklist. You see the oranges of 25. You attach that to Max. You see comic book stuff's hot. You make all those plays all together, and you go in at this wasn't a $50 pickup. This was like a gumption. I'm going to spend $750 on this.
Yeah, that's
make the sale, and then you immediately cycle those profits into like a very low risk, potentially very high upside asset, and then some fun with risk. Like it was just, all of it is like 2 years of, I think, what we jam on and talk about into this card is just pretty sweet.
Yeah, the fact that you did the research to find out, about the Orange Army, Max's, all of the research he did about the card, Max, like everything, graded it, moved it, put it into something right away, didn't try to get, $6,000, try to get 55, like got what he could, moved it, reinvested it, like love it. Yeah, this is a good play.
And was patient. Because probably during the middle of the season, when Max is doing well, he could have offloaded it.
Definitely could have offloaded it throughout the season.
Respect. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, Jay, next play. That's 3. We're about to be halfway. All right, so this is from DZ _sports cards. It says play of the week, or even the year. I was searching to check out my cards for 1986 Fleer Jordan stickers, and I found a beauty that was graded a PSA 5. After looking it over, there was no way it should have been a 5. Only issue was some wax in the back. Super crisp corners, color, etc. I bought it for $1,100, and when I got it delivered, I cracked it out, worked on getting the wax off the back, and I sent it back to PSA with a $150 submission level. Just got the email that I'm being charged more because of the value. They gave it a 9. PSA 9 Jordan stickers go for between $6,000 to $7,000, so it jumped 4 grades from a 5 to a 9. All in, $1,700. Value now, $6,500.
Let me ask a quick question before we jump into this. I love this. This is great, assuming everything is kosher.
Yeah, there's a little gray.
Are you allowed to get the wax? Like, is that allowed? Is that okay? As long as you're doing it safely, is that okay?
Yeah, this is like, there's a fine line.
Yes.
What side of the line do you fall on?
Yes.
My understanding is, again, just being in cards 15 years, my understanding is that pantyhose will get wax off. Not one time have I ever tried to get pantyhose to get wax off of a card.
Are we talking like pantyhose?
Pantyhose. This is
like you
never
do a
tried
little rubski with a little pansky. And
yeah,
like a microfiber. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we're talking about like a cloth.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume microfibers for more like chrome cards. Like,
is that so? Wait, so is that allowed to get the wax off or not?
Don't know. I don't make the rules.
I think this should be disqualified considering it's on a fine line. But congrats on the 9.
Respect it. You gotta, at the end of the day, the market has to have faith in PSA, or the whole thing goes belly up. I don't think this is a one-off thing. I think certain wax. Would this be considered altering? I'm not sure. Do I have a take on it? In my gut, would you feel great buying this card as a PSA 9, knowing it was a 5, got cracked, wax removed, and then put it into a 9? How would you feel as the buyer if you knew that going into it? I think that's a good way to put this.
I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't care either.
Yeah.
Cool. So then, to me, like, if you would buy it, then I don't want to bury DZ. I think it's probably a fine line where people are on one side or the other.
See, I think this is different, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is a different argument than cutting a piece of the card off the card.
100%.
Like, those are not the same thing. That is altering a card. This is getting something that shouldn't. I mean, yeah, I get it. It's a fine line. Very, 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 very fine line.
If you have dust on a card, you're allowed to wipe it off. This is like, it's like you're not supposed to touch it, but like,
Yeah.
I respect the play.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yep.
Good job.
Next
I
play,
think PSA knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And I respect the play.
Yep. Agreed. Jay.
Wait it out.
All right, Mo Cards. This is going to be good.
Tiger.
Said, I recently went to my LCS and sat down at the 10-cent card box. I was digging and found a row that said miscellaneous. So I started looking and found a 2014 Upper Deck 25th anniversary Saul Canelo Alvarez rookie legend card number 61. I bought it thinking it could be a cool little flip. I got home and looked at eBay and there was only 3 up. They were for $500. And the last one sold for $150. I listed it immediately for $299 and had offers right away. I needed around $100 to get a Lewis Hamilton Chrome-based rookie to go hold long term. And I've been watching for a while. It sold today for $185 and was able to snag a Chrome Lewis Hamilton base and got a sweet Nolan Arenado 101 patch auto for the PC. 10 cents into a long-term hold and an awesome PC card.
W.
That's pretty good.
Huge W. 10 cents to $150 or whatever.
185.
He probably could have went like, can I get it for a nickel?
If you
Do you think he paid in a dime?
No, I think he bought an entire deal for like $40 worth of value box stuff and probably got this for free.
Yeah.
I respect. That's crazy.
I'm joking.
Roll into that. It's crazy. The couple things I picked up on, did he not eBay it like on site? Was he just like, this feels right, and then got home?
Yeah, I think that's what.
When you're buying 10-cent cards, you're not sitting there looking up
every single
10-cent card.
But like, it's a big card. I mean, it's crap.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to take
that's the moment where you see it and you're like, I got something. How do I contain my excitement so that they don't pick up on that? I know I got something.
A little move. I'll do at shows. Same type thing.
Do you leave it and come back?
I'm going through a value box, and like I'll be going through a pile. Like I'm flipping through these things quick, and I see one that's like, this is a winner. I'll take the card and the card on top of it, and I'll set those down. So the top card is the one that somebody sees if they walk by, not the card I like most.
Tricks of the trade, baby.
It's a brilliant play. It's so good.
And say, oh wow, you found that in the dollar box.
Yeah, we've all been burned by the passerby. We've all been burned by the passerby.
Somebody will walk up and say, "Hey man, that's a great buy. That's fantastic."
Like, ooh, wait, did you buy that yet?
And someone's, yeah, I didn't. That's not. No, out. Sorry. Like, okay, thank you.
You got to put like a Yordan Alvarez Topps flagship on top of it and just see what happens. Hope no one notices.
No, I'm trying to think of like another random, like a
Chuck Knobloch,
Manny Pacquiao 4th year sticker.
All right, Jay, next play.
That's a great play. That's a great play. I was joking about the nickel.
So LA Card Guy says, play of the week sub was set up today at the Newport Card Show down in SoCal and came across this Joey B rookie quad patch number to 50. The vendor was asking for $50. It felt low, so I checked eBay and found the last comp was 67, but that was back in November. So I offered the guy 45 because I didn't want to pull a J. Love it. He said, got the Burrow, so I had room to display it at my table. So I parked it at got the Burrow, but had no room at my table to display it. So I parked it at a buddy's table who offered to sell it for me. About an hour later, before the game started, my buddy walked over with $150 from selling the Joe Burrow. The fact that it didn't make a J makes this more exciting. I'd have probably offered 40, but that's neither here nor there.
I respect the don't pull a J. There's a couple things. The same day buy sale at a show.
Not like
there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. It's like, I believe, the essence of sports cards to me. That is like he learns more from that. Like a 14-year-old kid being able to pull that off learns more from that than like 6th, 7th, 8th grade combined, in my opinion. Next,
for sure,
the fact that my man's when I didn't have any room at my table, so I'm gonna swing it down to my boy's table when it's a Joey Burrow in the playoff that he just made a play on and felt good about. I don't know what else is at his table, but like you just move one card and it's one card.
I mean, swindled his buddy for some table space.
I immediately see a pink mosaic Zion right there. I probably would have made that swap. I'm just saying.
And then I hope he cut your boy in. Like, did you give your boy no piece?
You got to throw him 10, right?
Must.
I'm throwing him 10, at least 20, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not even going.
I mean, a table's got to be what, 40, 50, $100. Like $10 is a tenth of the table for one card. Like,
I don't have spot on my table, guy, but I know you do because you got a bunch of bunk down there.
He swindled his friend, and then threw Jay under the bus.
Yeah, all encompassing. LA Card Guy, Bounty Hunter David.
That's a pretty good one. All right, next, Jay.
Oh man.
Oh.
Oh, I get what Jay was doing now. It was all worth it.
Oh, this is fan-fucking-tastic.
Oh, no.
When was the date on this? So this is hilarious.
This is
all right, so if you're not watching,
2019.
If you're not it's from when, Lou?
February 17th, 2019.
So this is back in 2019. A listener sent this in on IG. So it's about me. So for perspective, I've told my story before I got on Instagram, I was on Blowout. I was really big on Blowout. I think I had, 900 plus feedback. I posted all the time. It was like Instagram and social media, pre-social media. Like this is where it was.
10,000 posts. You were out here grinding.
Yeah, that's why I was waiting to go there, but
yeah, in 2013, Photo Bucket started to charge money to post pictures on there. That led me to Instagram. It was free. Instagram blew up, right? We were able to grow that. So I was on Blowout every day, trading, buying, and selling, no different than Instagram now. Cards have been a big part of my life for a long, long time. And somebody found an old post by me that said, Tom Brady Panini 1 auto for trade. Looking for mainly Sam Darnold, Prism Optic contenders, but we'll look at other stuff. Looking for mainly football or basketball. and someone tweeted or messaged Jay and said, mailbag question. I saw in blowout forums that Ryan had a thread back in 2019 that he had a Tom Brady auto and was looking to trade for Sam Darnold. Specific request was only player in the thread. Just wondering how that trade worked out. Sam Darnold, always a hot topic on this show. Not trying to be a jerk, just thought it was funny, ironic for a Brady fan that was looking for Jets cards. And the show talks about the Brady Darnold so much. Yeah, so like, been very open about this. Darnold was one guy I was really, really, really big on. I got a lot of flack for Darnold because he didn't end up turning out to be anything. Truth be told, I moved most of my Darnold at the 2019 National. Made a significant, did pretty well on him. I probably kept more than I should. I got out of National Treasures, Prism Silver 10s. Like, I got out of most of them. I probably had 30 autos still, 35.
I think
40.
we bought a bunch of the silvers off you, if I remember.
Ton, yeah. I
correctly.
sold Gary all seven silvers. Yeah, I had a bunch of them. And then went into the season with somewhere between like 30 and 40 autos, and should have got out of those sooner. Obviously, Darnold has not has not done much in his career. Not sure how you find this thread. This thread's super old, but honestly, it's probably one of the last times I ever posted on Blowout. I haven't been on there in a while, I don't think. So I would be fairly surprised if this is not my newest post. Yeah, Jay said it's my last one. But yeah, it's yeah.
I will try to not go on a little bit of a rant. But you and I spoke on the phone for like 40 minutes last night. When I look at this, I see a few things. I see that you joined Blowout Forums in September of 2010, 11 years ago. You posted on Blowout Forums 10,500 times. You've since posted on Instagram 8,965 times. And you have 82,900 followers, roughly. Card shop business. I just keep going back to like, it's the work. All that's on my mind is the question we got last week about opening a shop and what it takes and the time and all that jazz. And I just think proof's in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. And that's
Proof
the
is in
only
the pudding.
thing I see about this. Like Darnold Prism, everyone's got their thing.
At least
What
I was
about
buying the right
10,500 posts. 10,000. People talk about 10,000 hours across these two platforms alone, let alone Twitter. I mean, you know what it takes to post on Instagram 8,965 times?
And I'll be honest, please no, I'm not trying to toot my horn here.
You can.
When I first started on IG, I was super big about keeping it like real. Like I just was like, I would post pictures and then when they were gone, I would delete them. So
Yeah.
if you go back to my old posts, it's from like 2016 or 17 when I was at Ohio State. So I probably had 3 years of posts that were just deleted, like just gone. Like I remember posting, I had a Giovanni Bernard 2013 Absolute 101 Shield Auto. I think that was the first card I ever really posted on IG. It's not there anymore. But I was big on Gio and Le'Veon Bell in 13. I mean, I sold 50. I had 50 Gio rookie autos and like 60 Le'Veon Bell autos, and I sold them all. I mean, at like $8 to $40 a piece, and bought a car, right? Like back in 2013. So I wish I would have kept more of that stuff and really showed the journey. You didn't know back then, but yeah, it's just.
It was cool seeing Gio Bernard this weekend.
I can't believe that guy's still around.
He was still
Dude, he was electric coming out of college.
He was electric. Do you think that the original card collector figured out that you jumped on the Blowout name and then he jumped on Instagram before you could, or what do you think?
Oh,
yeah, I'm not really sure. So like, again,
he's just card collector.
Yeah. So that's how the 2 came in. 2 is my lucky number, right? So when I tried to go to IG in 13, I tried to be card collector and it wasn't available. So it was, okay, well, it's my lucky number 2. And this is, before a lot of people were on IG. So it was just card collector 2. And that's how it happened.
Were you a Jeter guy?
No, not really. I hated the Yankees and he went to Michigan. So
fair point.
I mean, Jeter, I can respect his career and he's got one of the best signatures ever. So like, it's cool to have some Jeter stuff. He's an icon, but it's never someone I'm like, yeah, go Jeter. He was a Yankee and went to Michigan. Those are.
You also know he's now batting number 2.
Number 2.
Derek Jeter.
I don't think
2.
Ryan knows that joke.
Yeah, that's not a me joke. I'm not a baseball
He's
guy.
number 2. If
Jeter
you like
guy.
number 2, then Jeter is number 2. He's
Yeah, no,
now
not me.
batting
A
number
fact, he
2.
wore number 2.
Yeah,
Number
no.
2.
All right, let's
Derek
pick a winner.
Jeter, number 2.
These
I
are
think I
some
know
good
mine.
plays.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is a good
Jay
job, Jay.
called your shot.
I still think we should keep the pump up to a minimum pre-show, but
because we would have
this
been
was a
super gassed, but
good week.
yeah, it's a crazy week. Wait, can we start at the top? Okay. This was a banger. This was a banger. This is a real banger. I can't vote on this one. This was a banger too.
I want to pick the Burrow because he smoked Jay and he used his buddy's table and didn't pay his buddy and only got 5 off when he could have got 10 off. But the winner is to me is the Verstappen.
Me as well.
It feels the most us. It really does. The Marvel jambalaya.
Yeah,
is right there too. To be frank,
I love.
I like the garland.
Tyler is definitely knows what he's doing. He's got some cool stuff. The Garland game used, that Upper Deck exclusive, like seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
We could pick any of these. Any of these could be picked. But yeah, I'm going with the Max.
I'm gonna go with Max as well. My second would have been Garland, if it matters.
Max, same.
Yeah, Max is the winner.
What a week!
Yeah, what a week! Shout out to everybody who submitted a play.
That was fun.
I
need more play of the week in my life.
I do think we're gonna want to hit on this before we leave with this week's releases. It is it's probably one of the biggest releases release weeks of the year. I'm gonna look up all the products, but 2 of them for sure are Flawless Basketball and Immaculate Football.
Immaculate Football. Eli Moore, talk to me.
So Flawless Basketball. Currently pre-selling for over, I think it's around 24,000 a case. That's 12,000 a box. I believe there's 10 to 12 cards. So that's right around $1,000 a card average. Will be a pretty, I mean, that's the product. That's the most, in my eyes, the most collected sports product they make. People could argue Transcendent because it's like 27,000. It's huge. You get a VIP party ticket. I don't think that compares to Flawless Basketball. I think Flawless Basketball is the number 1 product in sports. So I would say that Flawless matters. There's a triple logo man of LeBron from his Miami days, his Cavs days, and his Lakers days. There's a logo man of each team. I have seen 7-figure offers already. I heard a report that said that Shine was interested, wouldn't put what he would disclose, but I heard it was like, quote unquote, I'll pay more than the next guy type thing. That card will be intriguing. There's a triple logo man. There's a triple logo man of Curry, Clay, and Draymond. There's some big cards, obviously LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, game used stuff. So Flawless has major potential. And then other than that, not much. Mosaic No Huddle, Wild Card Illumination, Sage 2022 Premier Low Series. So the next year's guys already, 2022 stuff. That seems.
Wait, what does that? Say that again?
2022 Sage. So like guys like, I'm going to see who's in the checklist. But it would be like guys like Kenny Pickett, Chris Olave, the next year's guys.
Your guy.
Sage Low Series Football.
What does
checklist
low series
has been
mean?
Yep, so it's got autos of guys like on the checklist, Desmond Ridder and Malik Willis. It's 16 packs per box, 16 autographs, so 1 autograph per pack. Autograph checklist includes guys that I recognize. Amon Gardner from Cincinnati. Let's see if I recognize any of these other names right away. Olave, go Bucs. David Bell, Purdue, I think won the Bolitnikov.
I think he's a Vayner Sports guy.
Is
he?
he?
Did you guys see that Georgia receiver who transferred to Alabama?
No.
Very strange. The number 2 receiver for the Georgia Bulldogs transferred to Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, they're losing their 3 or 4 guys. Like Mechie left. Jameson Williams left.
Like, I would love to know what the rationale is for the transfer. It's so strange.
Because you're getting the ball thrown to you from Bryce Young, other than Stetson Bennett the 4th.
That's great, but you just won a natty with Stetson.
Cool. We're trying to win another natty. I'm not betting on Hudson Bennett the 4th, 8th, or like whatever. No disrespect. Like he's not very good.
Honestly, I think the game it's just changed. I just
the transfer portal crazy.
The transfer portal, like, why would you not like? You're a sophomore, right? You got 1 or 2 more years to play. You go to Georgia, they recruit you, you go through the whole thing, you win the natty, life's amazing, and then Saban calls you. It's like, that was cool. Like, want to come rock with us next year? Like, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It's strange,
right?
It's just
or like even like go to like FAU and just be like, you know, I'm just get nice for the draft next year. I don't know. It's just college football, college sports in general. We're in this early phase of like what is going to continue to just be utter madness.
Yeah. And
the Jackson State thing is a very big indicator of what's to come.
Yes. Sage has got some guys that are coming up this year that are going to be drafted. Olave, Desmond Ritter, David Bell, Malik Willis. And then they've got some like next up kind of guys. It's called next level. They've got guys like Julian Fleming, the kid from Pennsylvania that went to Ohio State. It's wide receiver. They've got Spencer.
It's like NIL stuff. This is cool.
Spencer Rattler. So it's kind of a mix. I don't see anything super, super crazy. Like
Spencer Rattler.
I would assume the best auto is probably Kenny Pickett, but
it's a pick quarterback.
Yeah,
it's a tough year for quarterbacks.
That is what is going to be interesting about next season. 4 cards is the QBs, the skill position players are just not what they were this year with 5 quarterbacks in the first round in the last 2 years. Like you're just not, I mean, you might get it next year, but I'm not sure Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, and Desmond Ritter are quite the same as Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, or Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow and Tua and Jordan Love. We'll see.
Can you be a little respectful, please?
Oh, Zach Wilson too.
Thank you.
I knew I missed one. I couldn't remember who it was.
Mac Jones, like
Kid Dynamite.
Mac Jones, yes. Mac Jones, 1A or 1B in Rookie of the Year voting.
Is Daniel Jones going to be on a team next year?
Did you just say 1A?
Yeah, Mac Jones will be first or second in Rookie of the Year voting.
Come on, bro. Jamar Chase won Rookie of the Year.
Are you out of your mind, Rye?
Where do you think Mac Jones is going to finish?
1B.
Not 1A, that's for sure.
I said 1A or 1B. He's going to be 1A.
Yeah, but it's like not 1A.
Yeah, it's like 1 and then like
3.
2.
I'm just saying I didn't pick Zach Wilson to finish in the top 3.
Okay. Injury. That's voided.
He missed like 1 game.
That's voided. He lost
post-release calendar banter is nice.
I agree.
This is a good episode.
It's like the outro. It's like when the credits are running, you get a little
it's like
extra scenes. Yeah.
For like an hour.
Da-na-na. Da-na-na.
All right.
Da-na-na.
All right, I'm out.
It's been a pleasure.
Peace.
See you next week.
See you guys.
Bye.